Okay, this is SOL Prep 1A and 1B. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first 15 questions. You should stop after the first 15, go back over it, and then try packet 1B, and then hit play, and any answers you need to see are in 1B. I'm going to go ahead and start with question 1. Simplify this expression. Okay, you do this in 2 parts. Okay, we start breaking down 75. Okay, 2 doesn't go into 75, but 3 does. 3 and 25. All right, and then this breaks down to 5 and 5. Since it's a square root, I'm looking for pairs. Okay, one of those is going to go on the outside. Okay, so you only take one. Okay, and the remaining one goes on the inside. Now, anything from a line gets crossed out. Okay, so that's why I don't use the 25 anymore. All right. To figure out the exponents, I take 3, I divide by 2. Now, the first number you get, the 1, that's going to be the exponent on the outside. Okay? If you get a decimal with square roots, like 0.5, that means I have x to the first on the inside. If there's no square root, then I don't put anything there. Okay? Now this one, 5 divided by 2 is like 2.5. So that means y second on the outside, y to the first on the inside. Okay, so that's my final answer. All right, so whatever number is there, that goes there. Okay, let me erase that. That's sort of sloppy. Okay, and there's my answer with that one. All right, number 2, simplify using the expression. Now, what I would do here, so that you don't make a mistake or you can help eliminate answers, go into menu. All right, and I'm going to forget about these for a second. So what I'm going to pretend like is this is 2 squared and this is 4, okay? So I want to figure out the number parts first, all right? 2 squared, all right, and 4, okay? So that's going to be 16, all right? Now, a couple rules here, all right? This right here is a raising rule. So I'm going to multiply, all right, 2 times -3, which is x -6. All right, so I got x -6 there. I've got x -4 here. When they're next to each other here, I'm going to add these. Okay, so that gives me x -10. Now, what I do with negative exponents is that's going to go underneath, and my final answer is going to be 16x10. So what you want to, over x10. So what you want to do is figure out the number parts first. That can help you eliminate some answers if it's multiple choice. All right. The raising rule, I'm going to multiply those. That got me that. I kept that -4. I'm going to add those exponents. That gave me x -10, and that's what happens when I flip. Okay? Evaluate the expression. Okay. Now, I'm going to use the calculator for this. All right? And what you do, since they're telling me 64 is x, I do 64, arrow, x. Okay? I do 81, arrow. Now, I don't see a y. So I got to go to alpha, okay, so alpha, and then y is down there. So what that does is it sets my problem. Now I just type that in. 4, okay, shift, x, shift, there's the cube root there. I'm going to put x inside, minus, shift, square root. I'm going to do alpha, y, I put that inside. Let your calculator do the work there. That's going to be 7, okay? All right, number 4, solve, all right? Now when I solve, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the calculator, menu, graph, okay, delete, delete. Let me change the type, y equals, exit, type y equals. All right, sorry, I had to delete some things there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in parentheses, 3 divided by 4, okay, then another parentheses, 12x plus 8. All right, this one's going to be 2/3, so parentheses 2 divided by 3. Another set of parentheses, 6x plus 12. Okay, and I'm going to draw it. Okay, and it's very nice there. Now you have to be able to go with your calculator. Zoom, auto will get you a lot of things. Now what I want to do is G-solve intersect. Okay, that's 0.4, and that is why that is going to be my answer. Okay, circle the solutions for the following functions. Now, these are factors. Okay, now what I do to find the solutions for the factors, what I'm going to do there is I'm going to do 3x equals -4. So I'm going to slide an equal sign and change, okay, change the sign. So it went from positive 4 to negative 4. I divide by 3. So one of my solutions is x equals negative 4/3. This one will be x equals, I'm going to change that to positive 2. Don't need to solve that, so I'm going to circle my answers. Here's 1, here's 1, okay? So all you got to do is put an equal sign, change the sign. So that goes to that, all right? Number 6, solve the following. Now, here's something that's going to be important that you're going to have to be able to do. With your calculator, okay, all right, I'm going to delete these things, all right? Anytime you have an inequality, you want to delete these things, or anytime. Now, as you can see, I have an inequality. If you go to type, okay, all right, now, what I want to do is I want to look at what does this inequality do? Now, for this first line, so this is going to be my left side, and I probably should have said that back here, okay? This left side is going to be my first line. This is going to be my second line, and I'm going to find the intersection, okay? I went through that sort of quick, okay? All right? Now, I'm going to do the same thing here. This is going to be my first line. This is going to be my second line. Now, what I'm going to do is look at the inequality. So if I'm looking at this line, my inequality is not eating my value, okay? So what I want to type in, okay, is 2.2. Okay, hold on 1 second. What is my inequality? Well, when I type this in, I'm going to have something there. Now, it's not eating that, so if I go to type, go over, now, I'm going to choose this type of inequality. Now, if I choose this one, okay, and hit the over button, what that's saying is that's going to eat this value. I don't want that. So I'm going to go back in, I'm going to delete it, I'm going to go type, okay, and I'm going to choose this one, and then you hit over, okay? Now, as you can see, when I type in 2.2, all right, 5 minus x, as you can see, it's not eating that, so that's good, okay? And I'm going to hit execute. Now, on this one, it is going to eat those values. So I'm going to type, I'm going to select my type, this one. I'm going to select this one, which is 24.2. Now, as you can see, that's eating the 24.2, and that's what I want, okay? I want to draw, okay? And as you can see, all right, I do the same thing, G-solve intersection, okay? All right, so I want to get the intersection. Same deal, all right? Now, from an answer standpoint, I got x and negative 6, all right? Since it goes to the right, it's going to be greater than. If it's a number line, it's going to be an open circle, and it's going to be shaded to the right. Because when I don't have anything under there, that means it's open, okay? Now, the important thing to do here, when you go back, you delete it, okay? This is really important. Now, when I select the type, I got to turn it back to y equals, or else you're going to keep getting inequalities, all right? So I'm going to delete it. I'm going to select the type, y equals, over, all right? And I should be good now, okay? So you got to be careful there, okay? Find the slope, 3x plus 2y equals 12. Now, you can do this a number of different ways, okay? If you want to, you can find the intercepts here, okay? Another thing you can do is you can move this over to this side, okay? Because if I get y equals mx plus b, okay, this is going to be my slope, the number next to x, and this other part is going to be my y-intercept. Okay, my y-intercept, all right? So what I'm going to do is this goes over to the other side. I'm going to have 2y equals negative 3x plus 12. Okay, I do not combine those. All I do is if I move from one side to the other, I change sign. Okay? And then what I want to do is I want to get rid of this 2. Okay, so y equals negative 3 halves x plus 6. Okay, now what are they asking for? What is the slope? So my answer here is negative 3 over 2, because that's the number in front of x. All right? Moving on, number 8. What equation would pass through that point? Well, what I got to figure out is what is the x-intercept? Okay, an x-intercept is something that crosses right here on the x-axis, and that point would be 3, 0. Okay, all right. Now, if I have two points like that, I can go into my calculator, go to Menu, go to Stat. Let me delete these out. Okay, I can type these in, 4, 2, okay, and 3, 0. All right, I'm going to, if you want to graph it, you can, you'll see that, okay, but I already know that it is a line, okay, because it tells me it's a line. So I'm going to do regression, I'm going to select x, and my equation is going to be y equals 2x minus 6. Okay, so when they give you this, the 2 is the number here, the negative 6 is the number there. All right, it says graph of this line is shown. Put a point on the zeros. The zeros are where it crosses the x-axis. So that's the only one, is that point right there, that's it. This is the y-intercept, that's no good, okay? All right, let's move on to number 10. All right, this chart shows the cost per person to rent a vacation home. Here are the values, okay? What I want to do here is I want to see, okay, what this looks like. So I'm going to go to Menu, Stat. I'm going to retype. Let me hit Exit. I'm going to go all the way back here. All right, I'm going to type 5 and 530. I'm going to type 8 and 331.25. I'm going to type 10 and 26, 265 and 20. Oops, that 20 is in the wrong spot. 20 and 132.5. Okay, and I want to graph it. Okay, and that means it's going to be inverse. Okay, when it goes down like this, we're talking inverse variation. All right, so if I look at my answers, I know it's not going to be direct because it's got to be inverse. Now, when it's inverse, all I got to do is multiply across to get my equation. Okay, so if I go back here, I can just do 5 times 2530, and I get, 5 times 530. 5 times 530. And that's 2650, and this is the one that's going to be the inverse variation when it's got the x like this. Okay, very easy. Once you figure out that if it goes down like that, it's inverse. If you're going like this, it's direct. Okay, in this case, ours was inverse. Okay, and that's why I chose that one. Okay. A teacher gave a quiz. The following stem and leaf plot shows the scores. The mean score is 70, and the standard deviation is 15.8. How many scores are within one standard deviation away? Okay, here's how you do that. Okay, if this is your mean, okay, if you add 15.8 and subtract 15.8, okay, your standard deviation. All right, my mean was 70, okay? Those two values are going to give you within 1, okay? So 70 plus 15.8 is 85.8, okay? And the other one is 70 minus 15.8, okay? So that's going to be 54.2, okay? So how many are between those? Well, between 54, well, this is 50, 60, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Because what this is like 90 and 90. This is like 80 and 80. This is like 470s. This is like 360s. Okay? So if you're looking how many fall between these two, well, all of these are good. 50 and 50, that's not good. Okay, if it's 50 and 50, no. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9 total terms are going to fall. Actually, I'm sorry, that should be another 80. So that should be 10 total terms. Okay. A data set has a mean of 16.5. A standard deviation is 3. The x has an element, has a z-score of 1.5. Which interval? Okay, so here's the formula. Z-score equals x minus this. That's mean. That's standard deviation. Okay, so I got 1.5 equals, standard deviation is 3. Okay, my mean is 16.5. Now what I do there is I cross multiply. Okay, so that's going to be 4.5 equals x minus 16.5. If if I add 16.5 over to the other side, I'm going to get x is 21. Now, if you look at your selections, where does 21 fall between 13 and 10? No. Does 21 fall between these two? No. Does it fall between these two? No. Does it fall between 19 and that? Yes, it does. This one, it does not as well. Okay? So what they're looking for is which one does it fall between. All right? All right, from the answer provided, circle the range. Okay? All right? Now, the way I figure out the range, okay? Domain, I figure out this and this. That would be the domain. But my question is range. So my coordinates here are 2, 1. So it goes above, which would be y is greater than 1. Okay, so that would be that one. Okay? All right, make a box and whisker plot that corresponds to that data. Okay? So what I'm going to do that, okay, I'm going to go into menu, I'm going to go to stat, I'm going to delete this information. All right, I'm going to put these in. 9, 13, 3, 2, 13, 6, 7, 9, 0. 7, 9, 0. All right, I'm going to calculate, I'm doing the stats, which would be F1. Okay, so the things I need this stuff. My minimum is 0. Okay, so at 0, I'm going to have my minimum. Okay, my Q1 is at 2.5, so this will be where my Q1 is. 2.5, 0. My median is at 7. Okay, my Q3 is at 11. And my max is at 13. Okay? And all you gotta do is line it up. It's a pretty easy problem. Write the equation of the quadratic curve. Okay? So they're basically telling you, quadratic means x squared. Alright? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to type this into the calculator. Menu, stat. Let me go back. Let me delete all this information. Delete, 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 delete. Okay? -3, I'm going to have 2 over there. Then I'm going to have 0. I'm going to have 5 over there. Okay, just line up the points. 1, 7.3. And then -1. And 3.3. -6. 5. And -7. And 7.3. You could have put all the x's in first. Might have saved you some time. Okay, if I graph, so you can see it's a quadratic, it's a U, calculate, x squared. And so what I got is y equals 0.33x squared plus 1.98x plus 4.98. And there's my curve of best fit, okay? All right, so if you want to go back over those to figure out what you need to do, great. Okay, what you want to do is pause right now. All right, pause your video, go on to B. Okay, now if you've done B and you want to see some of the answers, I'm going to go through those. Okay, part B. Okay, part B. Let me check the length of the video, make sure we're still running here. Okay, we're still good. All right. Okay, so what you want to do here, all right, I want to break down 72, that's 2 and 36. That's going to be 2 and 18. It's going to be 2 and 9. It's going to be 3 and 3. Now, I can cross off everything that has a branch, okay? I got a pair, and I got a pair. So I'm going to take one from each. 2 times 3. On the inside, the only thing left over is a 2. So I got 6 square root 2. To figure out those, I'm taking 5 and divided by 2. That's 2.5. That means I got x1, x1. Extend that line a little bit. This one's going to be 7 divided by 2, which is going to be 3.5, which that means y3, y1. So you got the decimals, okay, that means they have 1s on the inside, all right? The front number tells you the exponent for those, okay? For this one, I'm doing 3 squared times 5. It's the first thing I'm going to do to make sure that I'm on the right track there. So I got 3 squared, and I got 5. That tells me 45, okay? All right, then I got x -5 raised to the second power, which I'm going to multiply those. I get x -10. This is just going to be x -6 I add these, that gives me x negative 16. Okay, what that means is I'm going to move that exponent underneath 45x to the 16th. Okay, moving on to number 3. Okay, all right, I'm going to program these in, 27, arrow for x. Okay, then I'm going to do 49, arrow, I have to do alpha, the minus sign, which is y. All right, now I'm going to type these in, 5, shift, cube root of x, minus shift square root of alpha y, and my answer there is going to be 8. Okay? All right, this is one where I'm going to put this is my first line, this is my second, and I'm going to find the intersection. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go in to my calculator, I'm going to go to menu, all right, I'm going to go to graph. All right, double check, y equals, make sure that's always the case. 1/4, okay, all right, 10x plus 6, okay, all right, and then 3/4, okay, 5x plus 4, all right, and I'm going to draw. All right, now it's sort of a mess. Zoom, auto, and it fixed it. G-solve, intersection, and my answer is negative 1.2. Show you right here. Okay. All right. Find the solutions. So what I'm going to do, these are the factors. So to find the solution, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this 5x equals negative 2. So I remove the plus, put an equal sign. Now I'm going to divide that. X equals negative 2/5. This one's going to be x equals 7. All right, change that out. So here are my two answers. Okay, pretty simple. All right, going on. Number 6. Okay, my inequality. All right. Got to be careful here, all right? When I go back into this, all right, I'm going to delete these, all right, delete. Now, this is not going to eat, so what I got to think about is, if it was going to eat that, all right, I want to do type. If I selected this one, it's going to eat whatever I type in that first line, which I don't want it to. So I'm going to hit this one, over 3.2, 5 minus x, okay? All right, now this next one, the type, all right, I want it to eat that thing, so I'm going to choose this one, all right, and I'm going to choose 26.8. Now if you notice here, is this right? Okay, the mouth is not eating, yep, that's right, I don't want it to eat that. I do want that one. So I draw, I can't see it, zoom auto, okay, I got that, G-solve, intersection, all right, so it's x is greater than, because it goes to the right, x is greater than negative 3.375. All I care about is the x. If I was making a number line, that would be an open circle. And since I had shaded to the right, that's what I'm going to have there. Okay? All right, find the slope. So what I want to do is move that over to the other side. I want to change it when I move it over. So I got 5y equal to negative 4x plus 20. Okay? I want to get rid of this 5. So that's y equals negative 4/5 x plus 4. Okay? Now, what is the slope? Slope is this number right here. So that's what my answer is, negative 4/5. All right? Moving on to number 8. All right? An x-intercept. Okay? That coordinate means that would be 4, 0. So those are the two I'm going to use. So I'm going to go into menu. I'm going to go to stat. All right? Let me delete all this information. Delete. Delete. I'm going to make this 5, 3. 5, 3. And I'm going to make this 4, 0. All right, I'm going to calculate. I'm one regression. Okay, so I got y equals 3x minus 12. Okay, y equals 3x minus 12. All right, graph the following function. Identify the zeros. 0 would be right. That would be a little too big. Hold on. Okay, and there's your answer. All right, moving right along. Number 10. All right, now I got to check to see which one this is going to be. So I'm going to go into menu. Okay, I'm going to go into stat. Let me back up here. Just keeping it exit till it can't go any further. 2, 5, 10, 20. Okay, going here. I'm going to go 14375.5. No, that's too many. 0.5. Okay. 575, 287.5, 143.75. All right, I want to graph G1. Which one's that? That's inverse, okay? Goes like that, it's inverse, all right? So, if I'm being a good test taker, these are my two possibilities, these are out, okay? What I'm going to do to figure out the equation, okay, I'm going back to menu, 2 times 1437.5, I get 2875, okay? So my choices are that, this is going to be my answer, okay? This inverse, all right? The mean scores are 80, the standard deviation is 10.8. So what I would do is I'm going to add 10.8 this way and subtract it. So I got 90.8, and I believe that's going to be 69.2. So basically I'm looking for all the values between those, okay? So this, I'm not going to even consider these, all right? This is the first one. There's 4 70s, all right, 2 80s, sorry, 3 80s, and there's going to be 2 90s. Okay, that's between these two values. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 total zeros. Okay? All right. The data set has a mean of 14.5 and a standard deviation of 3. Okay? So if it's 14.5 for 3, a z-score of negative 1.5. Okay? So what I want to do is cross multiply. That's negative 4.5. Okay, and I'm going to add 14.5 over to the other side. Okay, it's going to be 10. So where does 10 fall between? Those two. Doesn't fall between those, doesn't fall between those. It's got 10 fits between these two numbers, 8.5 and 11.5. Okay? All right, z-score formula, z equals x minus mean over standard deviation. Okay? Number 13, identify the range. Okay, well that coordinate is -1, -2. Okay, and what happens here is everything's above, so that's going to be y is greater than or equal to -2, which would be right here. Okay, make a box and whisker plot with the following data. All right, so I'm going to go into menu, I'm going to go into stat, I'm going to delete all this stuff. What are my first couple numbers here? 8, 11, 3. Okay. 8, 11, 3. 5, 12, 8, 7, 10, 0. All right, I'm going to calculate. I'm doing this one, F1. To do the box plot, I need this information. Whoops, I think I made a mistake there. Whoops, yep, I did. It should have been 10. Okay. Okay, so my minimum is 0. Okay, so my minimum is 0. My next number is 4. My Q1 is 4. Okay, my median is 8. My Q3 is 10.5, so that's going to be about here, 10.5. And my max, what's my max? My max is 12. Okay, very simple box plot. All right, moving on to the last question. Determine the curve, quadratic curve. All right, so I'm going to go back into menu. I'm going to stat. I'm going to go back all the way. All right, now I'm going to delete all these. All right, I'm going to put all the x's in first. -3, 0, 1, -1, -7, and -8. And now I'm going to put in the corresponding y's. 4, 6, 8, 3, 4, 8. Okay, graph. As you can see, I did something wrong there. Whoops. Okay. -3, 4, 0, 8, 1, 8, -1, 3, -7, 4, -8, 8. Okay. All right. They tell me it's a quadratic, so I'm just going to work with that. Calculate x squared. Here's my answer. Y equals 0.24x squared. Okay. Plus 1.76x. okay, plus 5.78. Okay, so if they tell you quadratic, you automatically select an x squared. Okay, all right. So go over those two things. All right, there will probably be a C part for you to work on, but that should give you a good idea of what you need for that section.